All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. I'm going to make a quick meme video here, and I will be honest, it's a little hard to ignore this GameStop chart, all right? Still need just a little bit more. We're still under that 50 moving average line, but MACD, RSI, and volume are actually starting to turn around pretty nicely. And let's be honest, that was a nice Friday candle. I know people expect kind of bigger percentages when this thing does well, but that is a big candle right there, all right? So this one's a hard one to ignore for sure, okay? HOLO, I don't really know what I think about this one. Look, I'll tell you that Thursday doji and Friday answer was really important, all right? And clearly we're holding the 20 moving average and this and that. My thoughts here are pretty 50-50, but look, at the minimum, this doesn't look horrible, okay? And there's actually a real shot that this thing can make a move to the 48 range, even maybe that almost 60 range, all right? So this one's definitely worth an eyeball, but yeah, this one still has a lot more to prove, okay? MAXN, I'm not really the biggest fan of, I'll be honest with you, all right? We had a good attempt at getting over the lines. That is an ugly Thursday, to say the least, and not the best of Fridays. You can maybe call that a doji if you want. I don't like that back-to-back, all right? But hey, when you're pushing 94 million shares on a Friday, it's one of those things where, dude, this dudettes for my girls out there, like, this is a volume king, right? It's not doing the right things with the volume, and that's what's bothering me, you know what I mean? But hey, at the minimum, two of these threes are must watches for tomorrow, and let's just see what they need to do well, all right? So before I do go any further though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel, share this video online, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time, your thoughts, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So, look, you know I normally start up here. I live and die by the moving averages, but I have to start with volume, all right? And let me just zoom out really quickly. So I think this is a good view. One thing I always say is you need to be at least over the 50-day volume line. All right. Look, this is the average volume. When we're talking average, we're talking about a C student. All right. And man, at least be the C student. I'm not asking you for an honor student bumper sticker, right? Like, just be the average, right? And the problem was with these 200 million plus days, right? These 150 million plus days, all of a sudden it's going to start to raise the average. And when we can't get that high anymore, all of a sudden you're just living for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, nowhere near that line. You are the F student. You are the lowest of the lowests, right? And nothing good will happen if you're not even the average, right? All of a sudden, though, what happens? You start to forget about these because now you're out of that 50, like these are more than 50-day, like these are old, right? All of a sudden, we start to lower the line. All of a sudden, we start to drastically lower the line. And lo and behold, we're actually at a realistic place. We're at a place where on Friday, instead of assuming that we needed to be as high as, look at this thing, right? We needed to be as high as 60 million shares to be just the C student. All of a sudden, all we needed to do was be 11 million shares. And hey, we're actually C plus. We got 15. You know what I mean? So volume has significantly dropped, and that's not a good thing. But it's now at a place where that line is beatable, all right? I have a golden rules video. I'll bookmark it right here at 440, but volume is king. Volume is queen for my ladies watching this, right? And we're now at a place where our volume can start putting the crown on it it can break the line, hey, at the minimum, the line is at a more realistic place, all right? So volume, I needed to start with that before we got into the lines up here, all right? So look, I hope you see it before I say it, all right? There's basically two little clusters going on, okay? First is the cluster of these three lines, where basically at the bottom, we go to the top, we come to the bottom, we're now back around it, right? Like these three lines, you can call this a tornado. It doesn't get very tight till basically this week or last week, whatever you want to call it, but nonetheless, we're just kind of living in these three lines. From there, we have the fourth line right here, right? And now these four are pretty tight. And look, that Friday candle with that Friday volume, with the MACD giving me a decent divergence and maybe making me think that we want to go to the positive side, with the RSI under 60 that has a lot of room to go to 80, that not that long ago was at 71, right? So hey, even if 71's the peak, we still got some room from this 58, right? There's a shot that we can break this 50. Now, I think it's, you always hear me say it. I respect these five. I live and die by these lines, right? And hey, I move my money on what I call the one and the two. We're looking at chart readers right now, right? But I live and die by moving averages. And there's one thing I've learned is don't underestimate the strength of the line. All right, that's a monster candle. The high of the day, look in the box over there, was 23.48. We closed at 23.42. There's a very, very, very baby wick, right? Most of Friday was buy, 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 buy. That's a strong, strong candle, right? But this is also a really easy channel, right? Once you broke those three, all we had was red, 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 nothing, nothing, nothing. We got the green, green, green up to here, right? So I'm at a place where it's either one of two things going on. Either this was just a channel move and we're going to come right back down to probably halfway, which is about 2260, give or take, or this is an attempt and we're going to try to break this line. And hey, if we actually can make a break, I'm expecting that. I would expect, okay, so not that. So we're either going to come on Tuesday tomorrow to 2430 or to 22, what was it, 60. I think those are my 1-2 lines right there. And 2260 is not confirmation, obviously, right? If we can start to get into that 2430, maybe even a little higher to 2450 or 60, oh, I'm going to start thinking 2780 from there, right? Again, we actually need 2 good days, right? Because we're still under it. We need tomorrow to do well and then Wednesday to confirm. So I would actually be, sorry, I zoomed in poorly. I could be okay. No, it has to be at least here. I could be okay with a 2406 tomorrow and then that 24 like 90 after. I would love that. Or just give me that flat 2450, 2460. Hopefully that made sense. So I gave you either a single stronger candle at like that middle 24, or do it over 2 days. Give me like a baby little doji right here around 24 flat, and then monster answer up here. And basically, I'm using these June 18, June 20, all the way to June 27 candles. I'm either using kind of the bottom of it or the top of it or the middle of it, right? Those are how I'm getting my lines. I'm not going to draw more lines because for real, this is the only line that matters after that, right? And then we have these better ones after. But right now, it's all about breaking the 50 moving average. And we need to not just do it for one day, we need to confirm it, right? So that's my way up, that's my way down. This is worth your eyes tomorrow for sure, all right? Let's take a look at the weekly. This weekly is actually pretty interesting because I got to zoom in to see it, and it did. Again, we can't get too excited over a single candle, but we did close over the 8 moving average on the weekly, right? And this is actually kind of saying if we can get over all of these, the next place we're going to want to come up is all the way at 27, right? Red, 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 nothing, 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 green, 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 right? So the weekly is saying we've got a shot at 27, but the weekly is also saying that 2250 could be real too, right? Basically in between the two lines. So, GameStop, this is a must watch for tomorrow. It needs to confirm up for at least 2 days or one really, really strong tomorrow for me to think that. Otherwise, we might just be living in this $22 world. Like those three lines are going to be pretty hard to go below, right? And I can just see us just kind of oscillating around them. And then it does look like that 50 is coming down. So at some point, all four of those are going to come pretty tight, right? But this isn't bad. This is not bad at all and well worth your eyes tomorrow. I don't think I've seen any news on these things. So let me know if there's any news I missed. Otherwise, yeah, those are my confirm up, confirm down. I do not think we're going to go under this 2060. That's why I really didn't talk about anything below that. And truth be told, I don't even think we're going to go below that 2170. Those three lines should be very, very difficult to lose. Or maybe we'll do something like this where we just kind of oscillate a little bit and we probably live around that support that I drew right there. All right. So to me, it's either confirm or just live in the lines. I think below is a little too negative at the moment. All right. Now, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. I want to look at HOLO before I look at MAXN. All right. So man, this one, I said in the beginning, I'm going to say it again. This one's really 50-50 in my head. And as I'm looking at it a little bit more and more, I don't know if it should be 50-50, but oh man, this one's interesting to say the least. All right. So, let me know if you, no, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say if you could please subscribe, if you could please share, it does wonders with the algorithm. So HOLO. What's been going on right now? So first, I'm going to zoom out real quick. All right. HOLO has been very, 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 very much under the 8 and the 20. All right. For, I mean, you can arguably say this entire year, right? Like January's right here. We had a single month over them. Otherwise, the rest of the 8-9 months has been under it, right? So, this is a stock that's at the moment not the friendliest with the lines, and really at the moment more used to being under all than anything else. Okay, we have seen the volume start to come back here, right? When you're pushing, sorry, my cat's at the door. She wants to go. You trying to get out of here? You trying to get out? All right, I'll see you in a second. Sorry about that. So at this point, it's all about the moving averages, all right? And Friday was nice, but the one thing I wish it did, I wish it got over the biggest candle to the left. Let me draw this line as nicely as I can. That's pretty much on it. Again, I wish I had more decimals, right? But you can see it. This 19th actually does close a little bit higher than the Friday, right? So as happy as you can say I am that we're over the 20 moving average, as happy as I am that this was a good day after the doji, and again, I'll talk about that in a little more detail, I do actually wish we were able to get over the biggest candle to the left. That's something I do say pretty often, get over that biggest one to the left, all right? So we just fell under it, okay? From there, let's talk about this Thursday doji, all right? So obviously we make a good run up. Obviously, I always talk about confirmation. One good candle over the 50 isn't enough. We need the second one to confirm and let me believe that we're going to sustain, right? No, no, no. We actually lose more than half. And then from there, we just lose the 8 and the 20. This is a critical doji on Thursday. There were moments where people thought we should go back down into all-time low black hole vortex. There were people that thought, no, 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 we should regain one moving average at least. They, in a 7-hour day, open and close at the exact same place, right? Like this, and they did it with 70 plus million shares. If you're going to trade 70 million shares in 7 hours and you can't decide if this thing should go up or down, that screams uncertainty, especially when the peaks and the lows were that extreme, right? That's a nice Friday answer. You not only gap up, but like I said, you obviously close over at least one of the moving averages, right? But oh, I just wish we closed a little higher, okay? What am I looking for tomorrow? Look, this is black and white simple. We either regain the 8 moving average and we either basically close. I need it to close, and I can't stress enough. It must close at 49 cents tomorrow, or we're probably coming right back down to 35. Maybe 36, basically half of this guy, all right? We're either going to gain about, 20%? We're either going to gain another 8 cents on a 40-cent stock, that's 20%, or we're gonna fall to 36, which is about a 10% drop, right? So that's kind of the risk reward. That's a little tighter than I'd like it to be. But if we can take that 49, look, there's another really nice run up to 56. This is nothing but red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green. Like, if we can take this, it actually might be a pretty fast run up to here, all right? But remember what we're looking at. We're looking at a stock that doesn't know how to get over these lines very well. You know what I mean? So I don't really know why this volume came. If there was news here that really, really justified, let me know. Look, I remember I saw HOLO get connected to at least one big name. I don't remember what it was. I have an idea in my head. I'm going to just say, I think there was a Microsoft connection with this stock. I don't really remember. I cover so many that let me know if I'm wrong, right? But from what I remember, HOLO has been connected to some like real names. Again, end of the day, we live and die by the lines. And if you can't regain them, I'm not here assuming you will, right? So, one more time, we're either coming up to 49 and maybe a run even a little bit higher, or we're dropping right back down to 35. This over the 20 isn't enough for me to believe just yet, all right? So, I don't think we need to look at the weekly. Let's just look at it though, right? The weekly was unable to close over the 8 moving average. I'm actually glad I looked at that, right? So if we were just a little bit higher, that would have made me actually believe, all right, maybe we got a shot. Just look at this thing. We have not done it in a while, right? We've just been living under that 8 moving average. As nice as that week was, that wasn't enough. And I would hate it to be something like this, where that was nice, but that just wasn't enough, right? So I actually think it is smarter to be skeptical. I would wake up assuming we're coming to 35 unless the stock makes you believe, all right? One thing I want to do is lower this line. I don't think we need it that high. Okay, so this is what I see, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Again, I wish this system had more decimals. You can see that the 41 to 42 is very tight, all right? If we can break into like 0.423, I would actually start to think we're going to come up to 48 cents. 0.424, oh, for sure, right? I'm going to move this line down to here, 36. That's going to be the halfway of this big candle. If we lose 36 cents, excuse me, I'm going to assume we're going to come back down to all-time lows. If we lose 36, I think we'll also lose 29. And that's why I'm moving my line here. Otherwise, we're basically using those three lines as our next, or sorry, those two lines as our next lines up, okay? anyone anyone that's thinking anything near 70 cents or higher, you're a little too aggressive. We I don't even think you can think 60 cents just yet. All right. So HOLO. Let me know if I was wildly wrong about that Microsoft connection. I thought that I don't know. But either way, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at MAXN at the end. And hey, I'll be honest, I don't like this right now. All right. Now, there is a real reason to believe that this thing can actually make a run up to 15. And I'll talk about that shortly. But to me, I don't like this. I would much rather look at Game and HOLO tomorrow morning than MAXN, and I'll tell you why shortly. So real quick, if you can please subscribe, if you can share this video, it does wonders with the algorithms, all right? So the biggest difference between MAXN and the other two is this one's significantly lower on, this one's significantly below the moving averages, all right? When we look at GameStop, Game is actually testing a break of 4 of them. When we look at HOLO, it's at least holding on to what's at least like it's gripping one of the 5 lines, right? MAXN had a real chance, and MAXN was actually living above the lines for a bit, and then lo and behold, we see a pretty scary end of this week, right? So at this point, I gotta sit here thinking to myself, we've just signaled that we want to go back into all-time low black hole vortex, right? That really is what this thing is telling me at the moment, okay? Because of the fact, now just this is a perfect view. Red, 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 red. nothing, 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 red, 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 red. There is very, very, very little stopping us. There's actually nothing stopping us from going back up to 15. All right. And a move from 11 to 15 is actually a pretty significant percentage, right? I think that might be close to 40%. I can't do the math quick in my head, right? But that's a big move. And to me, if you can get into 12 cents, that might be an interesting place to start thinking 15. All right. My problem is, no, I didn't need to zoom out for that much. My problem is this Thursday was so bad. And then Friday, we didn't regain enough. Look, if we closed a little closer to 50% of Thursday, if we closed like a high 12 or almost even 13, I actually would have been a lot more bullish about 15. I think the fact that we basically only regained what, 20% max? Like that's 80% we lost. We regained that little bit, right? And actually, I'm incorrect. That's where we opened. We closed down here. Oh man, we barely regained 10. That's probably only 5%, and all that is like 90%, right? So we regained so little that my gut would tell me we're going right back down the all-time low black hole vortex, all right? Really, if, and I'm going to say it again, if you can get into like a good 12, because right there, that's 11, that's 12. I'm going just a little bit more. Let's call it 0.124. I'm guessing what that third decimal is, right? But if you can get into 0.124, 125, I think there's a real reason to think it actually might fly all the way up to 15. And truth be told, it's a pretty high 15 too, okay? If we go near a lower 11 and actually kiss 10, if we hit 0.109, oh man, I'm expecting this to hit 8 cents. To me, once you go into all-time lows, I'm ready for you to lose 20% before you lose the next 20%. So if we hit that high 10, we're coming into like a mid 8 cent range in my head, all right? So that's basically the move. It's either you're gonna run to 15 or you're gonna fall to 8. And going from 11 to 8 is a pretty nasty fall right there. And truth be told, I don't even think 8 will hold. I actually think it'll lose another 2 cents. That's 25%. Yeah, roughly speaking, I think it'll go 10, 8, 6, or it'll go 15. Now look, I don't know if this is going to break 15 because that's two really hard moving averages. And again, just look at this thing. We've pretty much been under both of those lines most of the time, right? So that's not going to be an easy break by any means. If it breaks, that'll be interesting. And I'm going to lower my line to here. If MAXN can get into 16 cents, I think that's the better trade. I would prefer to trade this from 16 to 24 than from 11 to here, right? I'm not going to lie. I might look at this if this thing moves into the 12s, but like I said, I think the first two have a better shot at going up. Get into 16, and yeah, I think that's a 50% move, right? 8, 16, 24. Yeah, you're adding 8 cents to that, right? So that's where I would want to be. That's the money line for Max. And otherwise, it's hard not to see all-time lows. So I think that was a pretty good review here. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, I appreciate you so much.